Back on College Football 25 for episode 3 of our Wyoming State Bison Team Builder Dynasty, where we are 2-2 on the early season. We got off to a 2-0 start, but lost back-to-back games against Baylor and against Wyoming. We'll be looking to get back in the win column this week, though, against Navy, and then we will be taking on New Mexico as well. We'll also be looking to get a couple more recruitments over the line. Left tackle Wayne Villarreal became our first commit of the season in the last episode, but we should get a commitment from George Pounds, the 4-star right guard this week, as well as the 3-star right tackle Dean McClayon. We still have pretty healthy leads on the 4-star wide receiver Rayshawn Cleveland, as well as the 4-star corner Trey Carney, but we do have to ensure that we maintain those leads over Colorado and OSU respectively. The big talking point heading into today's games is who is going to be starting under center. Sophomore quarterback Quentin Haynes has been less than impressive, to say the least. However, he surely is still the better option over John Busher. Neither have been particularly impressive this season. Just 451 yards through 4 games for the starter Quentin Hayes. 60% completion isn't terrible, to be fair, but 3 touchdowns to 5 interceptions is. However, with 86 speed, 93 acceleration, 97 agility, 93 change of direction, even, to be fair, 80 strength, you could argue that we're not really playing to the strengths of the sophomore quarterback. So for that reason, we are going to be changing up the offensive scheme this week. We replaced Army in this Team Builder Dynasty. We are going to be going back to the playbook of the team that we replaced, running the option. So hopefully that change will put our quarterback in a position to succeed as we take on Navy, debuting for the first time this season the all-gold Prospector Edition uniforms. So certainly not a game for the neutral observer, because it's going to be Flexbone against Flexbone here, as technically Army takes on Navy, and immediately we force a 3-and-out, almost getting in for the sack on 3rd down. Quarterback did just about manage to get the ball away, but was completely blown up in the process, and that's a great return from Cade Harris. Keep meaning to get him off punt return duties, but if he performs, if he gets a handful more returns like that, I think we simply have to keep him there. So, running the option for the first time, definitely something we're going to have to get used to, because I have not run option plays very often at all, but immediately we find Bruin Fleischman out in the flat, the tight end. I think this system is very much going to suit him as well, and I actually love this play action screen, as Engel is initially going to motion in, but he's going to rotate back out to the right, and we are going to hit him in the flat on the right side, and he just picks up 3. And this offense is going to allow us to get both Harris and Calvert on the field, so our speed back and our power back essentially both out there on the field for that particular snap. And I said we would be seeing a lot of running the ball here, but actually this drive has been dominated by the pass. And how is that an interception? How can that possibly be an interception? Quentin Hayes is going to prevent the touchdown, but Fleischman was open underneath. How is that possibly an interception? And it's Quentin Hayes again. The whole point of switching to that option offense was so that we wouldn't have to see this. Fleischman is open underneath. Just put it on him. So we were in field goal range. It's going to be Navy who are in field goal range now, though. I think we're going to be living in the backfield again here today, as we will bring the safety Goff all the way up to the line of scrimmage. And we really shouldn't have done, because we've given up a touchdown. Should have seen that coming, really. I do like bringing the safety down. Potentially we brought him down a little too far there, and we couldn't then bail out to get back and defend the pass. Right, let's actually do what this scheme is designed for and run the ball. We do, almost get to the edge with Cade Harris. Instead, he loses a yard. But these are the plays that I'm going to be scared of. This is midline triple. I don't really know what I should be doing here. And I end up just keeping the ball with Quentin Hayes, who takes the sack. And it will bring up a 3rd and 12. And of course, we're going to run the screenplay. It's going to take a while to get used to this option offense. Potentially, it will suit us better if and when we are used to it. But until then, it's probably going to be growing pains, to say the least. And that will bring up a 3rd and 8. And I think we will press the line of scrimmage. But we will learn our lesson from last time, and we won't bring both safeties down. We will bring the box safety to Ioti Mariner. And thankfully, the pass is off target, because again, that would have been a completion, and they're actually going to go for the field goal here. Looks to be a 52-yard attempt that is absolutely drilled, to be fair. And Navy extend their lead. See, the thing about running an offense like this is that the defense can just stack the line of scrimmage. It's Cade Harris. If he just had a little bit more burst, there was nobody between him and the end zone. And surely that would have been a touchdown. But he just doesn't have that burst. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. Just about manageable, I guess, on 3rd and 5. We will hit Cade Harris, who is going to run like 7 yards backwards before he finally turns around to try and pick up the 1st down. And I think we just find ourselves in the same position that we found ourselves. Oh my, who is this guy? Who is this guy? But we are just finding ourselves in the same position that we found ourselves through the first 4 weeks of the season. We can run the ball, but at some point, we have to put it in the hands of our quarterback and ask him to make a play. And he simply hasn't been able to rise to that challenge at any point. But as a 2-minute warning sounds, we are, again, currently going to be shut out. Oh, and again, we just about get to the quarterback, but not quite in time. Just about manages to throw the ball away. But pressure in the backfield once again. We're actually going to pass commit here on 3rd down. And Navy will just throw it away. Stop the clock at 1:52. And they will punt. It was a short punt last time. I'm expecting a short punt again here. And it is. So Harris is going to come up and make the fair catch at the 35-yard line. And we have 1:46 to put some points on the board. And we will yet again try and establish the run. And Cade Harris gets out into the flat on the left side of the formation. We had Bruin Fleischman ahead of him there, but unable to make the block. So let's run a screen. One of our more reliable forms of offense. And it does look like there's going to be pressure coming off that left-hand side, but that could well work in our favor. And indeed it has. Screens often a good antidote to pressure, because you take advantage of the pursuit of the additional defenders and just throw the ball in behind them. Don't love this play, but I think we're going to have to run it here. And we've put that into a dangerous area, and thankfully the interception is dropped. We simply have to come away with 3 points here. We have Jared Rosnos on the right-hand side, one-on-one with the defender. Kind of beats him. Doesn't beat him at all, really does. And it's an interception. What an unreal pick at the back of the end zone. What an unreal pick. As if a Navy cornerback was able to do that. Absolutely unreal interception. I mean, Rosnos didn't exactly win off the line of scrimmage, did he? But one-on-one in a decent enough position to go up and come down with it. I don't hate the decision there at all. I don't hate the decision. Just an unreal play. Oh, you have to make that tackle. We had the QB in the backfield, like 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You simply have to make that tackle. And actually, I hate that play call. We're going to bail out into cover 3. You have to make that tackle. Navy will just allow the clock to tick, though. And we'll allow the first half to tick away. They are going to be up 10-0 at half-time, though. So, again, we are shut out. We were shut out for a long while against Baylor. in the last episode. Did not expect to be shut out at halftime against Navy. And those offensive numbers are just so embarrassing for both teams. We do get the ball to start the second period, though. So we go down, we score a touchdown. We force a 3 and out. We score another touchdown. We go on to win the game. That's the plan. Whether or not we can make that plan come to fruition, I'm not sure. I do definitely miss the I-form formations out of the pro-style offense. And Cade Harris is going to break one and may have a touchdown already. Of course he doesn't, because he's nowhere near fast enough. But he does get the ball up towards midfield. Of course brings up a 1st and 10. And again we will run the ball here. This time with Gibbs, who again breaks one. This time up to the 40-yard line. We are moving the ball here to start the second half. And we will try and hit a tight end underneath here. And we will just take the yardage. We will take the additional 4. Brings up a 3rd and 3. So again we'll go to Calvert, who just has one man to either beat or force his way through. Doesn't manage to do so. The CPU want us to go for it. I fancy a fake field goal, kicker, flip, pass. Should catch Navy by surprise. And we can't get the pass off. We had it. We had it and we couldn't get the pass away. Oh, we had it. He was open. He was waiting. He was ready. And we couldn't get the pass off. Disastrous. So we go for it. You have to get there. You simply have to get there. Oh, we just... Our team is terrible. Our team is terrible. They can't play football, but they're not even athletic either. Well, I'm basically done with this game. Again, I'm not sure how much of this second half you're going to see, because it's been embarrassing so far. And I think it's going to continue to be embarrassing for the remaining quarter and a half. So we do get shut out. It looked as though we were going to get shut out against Baylor earlier in the season. We managed to put some points on the board in that game. What did it finish? Like 51-7, something like that. I mean, there's 7 points. We may as well have been shut out. But we have been shut out here against Navy. Absolutely embarrassing performance. Everybody on this team should be thoroughly ashamed of themselves. Not even Peyton Zadroik, who's been a monster so far this season. Not even he could stem the bleeding on this particular occasion. We did somehow manage to put up 298 yards of offense. Where those yards came from, I have no idea. 190 yards ended up coming through the air with Quentin Hayes, but 17 of 25, 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He is not going to be our quarterback going forward. I can tell you that much. Struggled on the ground, Quentin Hayes. Cade Harris, a fine day, 12 for 60. It's 5 yards per carry. Didn't score a touchdown, unfortunately. And of course, the receiving numbers are meager, to say the least. Harris out of the backfield, 4 for 59. 5 for 55 for Breyer is a decent tally for the end of the game. And Zadroik, yeah, just didn't make an impact. Had 2 tackles, none for loss, no sacks. No sacks from anyone, to be fair. No interceptions, no forced fumbles. The blow of the loss is softened somewhat by the fact that we did manage to bring in George Pounds. So we get our first 4-star recruit here of Season 1. Dean McClayon, however, did choose to go to OSU. I thought this was an outside possibility, but we had a sizable lead. He did have a visit to OSU last week. I didn't think that would be enough to force him to go to OSU, though. I thought we would still get that commitment over the line regardless. Thankfully, I don't think we're too fussed about Dean McClayon. He's a 3-star. He's a JUCO. I think if we were going to lose out on anyone, he's a fine one to lose out on. We do also have Nick Angel, who we're going to have to commit to a little more if we want him to commit to us, because he does have a visit scheduled for week 11. And I'm a little worried about the 4 stars as well. I think Trey Carney, we should almost certainly be able to get over the line because we can arrange a week 8 visit for him. We do have 140 hours to work with now. However, we cannot invite Rayshawn Cleveland in on a visit before he goes to whoever that college is below us. I'm not 100% sure what that logo is. But we are away this week in week 7. And he is already scheduled a visit in week 8. So we will not be able to bring Rayshawn Cleveland in. And we're simply going to have to hope that the points that we're dedicating to him are enough to get that commitment over the line. I think we have to be concerned about losing out on Rafael Mateo as well. The 4-star receiver, we have slipped to 3rd on his list now. We do have him scheduled to visit in week 8, but he does have a week 7 and a week 9 visit. We are going all in on Nick Angel. He's going to have to be the right tackle to replace Dean McClay, the one that we missed out on. To be fair, I would rather get this prospect than Dean McClay. So if we can get this recruitment over the line, we don't have to feel too badly about losing out to OSU. But we are now hard selling. We're topping that up with the extra 10 points. And we are bringing Nick Angel in on a visit in week 8. We are also bringing Trey Carney in on a visit in week 8. We are going to go back to the Iowa playbook for our next game against New Mexico. We are also going to be making a change at quarterback. Quentin Hayes is out. John Busher is in. So still looking to get back in the win column in today's episode. Looking to put points on the board for the first time in today's episode as we visit a sparsely populated New Mexico Stadium. And we will be receiving this time. So an opportunity immediately to check out John Busher. An opportunity immediately to get off to the best possible start in this game and put 7 points on the board. As Big Mo Johnson looks on, watches the 6'2", 205 quarterback take the field. And it's going to be pretty difficult to be any worse than Quentin Hayes. How much better John Busher is, though, we will have to wait and see. Again, we're going to be relying on the likes of Cade Harris, Aiden Calvert, Bruin Fleischman to some extent as well, to provide the majority of productivity in our offense. But when those opportunities arise, potentially John Busher will be the guy who is able to deliver the ball where it needs to go. 3rd and 4 is already going to bring up a screenplay here to Harris. And again, we can't get the throwaway. This was a problem with Quentin Hayes. It's going to be a problem here again with John Busher. We can't even throw a screen pass. Throw the ball. We need Peyton Zadroic to play more of a role today than he played against Navy 2. We forced the ball up the middle for just a 3-yard gain. Zadroic was there or thereabouts. But we forced the play inside with Curtis off the edge. We'll actually use a Zadroic on this occasion. Just trying to bull rush the lineman back into his quarterback. And there was pressure in the pocket. Forcing the ball out. And it was a decent enough throw, to be fair. But wide receiver didn't really turn around in time. And again, we will bull rush. This time it is complete over the middle. And we do get there to force the receiver down immediately. But not before the completion is made. And New Mexico at 3 and 2 will get off to the quicker start here. But New Mexico pick up 6. And it will be a 2nd and 4. It's going to be play action. And they do hit the receiver over the middle, who stays on his feet. Forces his way down to the 30-yard line. It will be a 1st and 10. New Mexico's first opportunity to put points on the board, and that's so well covered downfield. And it allows guess who to get in for his first sack of today's game. Peyton Zadroic. And we are simply going to have to trust our guys in man coverage, unfortunately. Don't think we have a better option here, though. We will commit to the pass. We will rush off the edge with Curtis. And we will beat our man inside, and we will get to the quarterback. Again, Not before he manages to throw the ball away. But we do force the incompletion. And it is going to bring up a 4th and 9, and New Mexico will kick. And they will squeeze it in just inside the right upright. I've seen that so many times this season. Looks as though it's veering off to the right, and it just about curves in at the last moment. So we will try. Maybe we won't. Let's just pick up the first down. Not the best look to try play action against, I don't think. We'll cut that back up the middle. That's such good blocking by number 5. Is number 5 Engel? It's not. But whoever it was, that was absolutely incredible blocking. So on 1st and 10, again, we will throw the ball. But again, it's going to be another quick, schemed pass that we managed to find an open receiver in Jared Rosnos with. And he's had his issues this season with drops. He does manage to bring that one in. Would have been absolutely furious with our technically number 1 receiver. You wouldn't know it to watch him play, but he is our number 1 receiver. I don't like that. We'll try and hit B at the back of the end zone. And he comes out of the end zone to make the grab, but he does indeed make the grab, Cameron Breyer. And John Busher, against all odds, on the move, put it on the money. He was slated to be our starting quarterback heading into the season as Cade Harris walks it in for a touchdown. Has just enough speed to get to the edge and to evade the pressure coming up the middle. But John Busher, slated to be our starting quarterback heading into the season, was supplanted by Quinton Hayes. Has made a huge play there to get us all the way down to the 1-yard line and to allow us to score not just for the first time in the game, but for the first time in the episode. But New Mexico on the 17-yard line have 14 yards to gain. We are just so slow. We're just so slow all over the field. And we just cannot keep up basically with anyone in coverage. That was a quick completion underneath. And intercepted again. Tipped into the air initially by number 23. And it's number 22. Is it Goff? It's not. It's Gaillard Jr. Player that I wasn't even aware existed until that moment. We simply cannot lose this game. We simply cannot afford to lose this game. We said that against Navy. And we lost the game anyway. We cannot lose back-to-back games against Navy and New Mexico. It simply cannot be allowed to happen. And we were actually expected to win 10 games this season. Get there, get there, get there. Incomplete, let's go. We were actually expected to win 10 games this season, which is an absolute travesty. How you can appoint a first-year head coach in Big Mo Johnson, give him this roster, and expect him to win 10 games, I have no idea. So we get the guard on the move here on 1st and 10. Pulling out to this right-hand side. Cade Harris is going to find the gap. And again, it just needs that little extra burst of pace. Just doesn't quite have the speed underneath. John Busher hits his man again. Hold on to the ball, which we do. We're down to the 2. And if we can punch it in here, we will surely set ourselves up to win this game. And Calvert walks in this time. Cade Harris had a walk-in touchdown before the break. And Aiden Calvert is back out in the second half for a walk-in touchdown of his own. And we will go up 14-3. It's been a hard slog. It's not been a pretty performance by any means. But we do have an 11-point lead. With just 4:48 left in the third. We are setting ourselves up to get back in the win column. Finally. I think we will pinch this defensive line and commit to the pass. We've already had a pick, not only in the red zone, but in the end zone. Another one here could be game deciding, to be fair. You've got to get there. You've got to get there. You've got to make that tackle. And Grant Ewell eventually does. Several players had their opportunity to do so. Most of them failed. Grant Ewell has been as impactful and as reliable as Peyton Zadroic this season, to be fair. And again, he makes the tackle. And somehow the receivers found a little pocket of space. So So New Mexico do grab the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. So it's going to be 14-11, just a field goal separating the two sides as time begins to tick away in the fourth quarter. The quicker it ticks away, the happier we will be. And that's going to be a hold. Looked to be excellent blocking. And a really nice move from Cade Harris to cut it up the middle. But unfortunately, it's going to be coming back for a hold against the senior Alex Moore. So, of course, this is 4-down territory. So we will run the ball on 3rd and 2, rather. And it looks as though we're going to be able to pick it up. And we do with Cade Harris. And that's incredible blocking. Absolutely unreal blocking by, I think, Jared Rosnos. And potentially we have found our number one receiver's calling. And it is not catching the ball. It is blocking. He took out 2 players there with the block to spring Cade Harris for a huge gain. We have to punch it in here. And I don't like that. We're going to audible to... Rosnos is uncovered. Rosnos is uncovered. Surely you can catch this one. And it's intercepted. Of course it's intercepted. Why would it not be? How is that? How is that intercepted? Rosnos completely uncovered. He throws the ball right to the linebacker. And we are obviously going to lose the game from here. Because how can we not? Another completion. Fumble the ball. The running back stays home. And of course, not only does the wide receiver make the grab, stays in bounds. Our defender tumbles to the ground. And it's going to be a touchdown. And now we're the team needing a touchdown. New Mexico going to go up 18-14. How are we going to lose this game? We have 1:07 left. 3 timeouts. The length of the field, basically, to drive. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How is that an interception? He's wide open. You can't cover 2 players. You can't cover 2 players like that. You're bailing out covering the cornerback. That's why I threw it underneath. Unreal. And we're going to lose this game 25-14. How? Please explain to me how. 22 points in the fourth quarter. It's just an absolute farce. An absolute farce. Absolutely unbelievable. And this play was the turning point. Like 3.5 minutes on the clock. Ready to extend our lead. Rosnos is ridiculously open. Like, they're not even acknowledging that there's a receiver out there. The ball is snapped. The corner obviously bails out towards Rosnos, but he's still nowhere close. To be fair, time was running down. We audibled out into a slant, which was, on reflection, not a great call. Because Rosnos is obviously then narrowing the gap towards the defender. Obviously, we would have liked something like a slot fade. We do at least get another commitment, though, and it's another addition to the offensive line. So we should be able to run the ball a bit more reliably next year and in the years going forward. George Pounds, 4-star commit at right guard. Again, the power archetype. And now Nick Angel. And right tackle, power archetype, 6'5", 300. Should fit in. Still haven't quite managed to get the commitment of Rashawn Cleveland over the line. We can now assign additional hours to wide receivers and to corners, however. So the same is going to be the case for Trey Carney. Haven't quite managed to get that recruitment over the line just yet. But we will add an additional 15 hours to his recruitment and cross our fingers that we can get that over the line next week. We are behind the 8 ball on Rafael Mateo, though. Again, we're going to have to add all of the hours available to us. However, I think even then it's probably still not going to be enough to get his commitment. We are currently in 3rd. We've squeezed into his top 3. He has already had his visit to Yale, I guess, maybe, is the Y logo. However, we will be bringing him in next week. I think we're going to be hard-pressed to get this commitment over the line, though. Would make a huge difference if we could. And I think we're going to have to try and bring Mike Robbins in too, because we need wide receivers. Probably not going to get Mateo, the second 4-star. So I think we're going to have to ensure that we bring in Robbins. So we will max out on Robbins and bring him in for a visit in week 9. So we have a big game coming up here in week 8 against Colorado State. Really need to get back in the win column. But we have a couple of recruits visiting as well. So it's going to be extra important that we manage to get a win over Colorado State. We're then going to have, a visit or two in week 9. And then we're going to be taking on Army. So we didn't replace Army. We replaced Air Force. Mentioned a couple of times earlier in the episode, we replaced Army. We didn't. We replaced Air Force, of course. So we'll be taking on Colorado State. We'll be taking on Army. We have a handful of visits next week. A handful of important players to get over the line in terms of recruitment. Because as we are seeing, this team is not good. So make sure you tune in for the next one so you can run with the herd. Take it easy.